Hazel decide that she was no longer going to be a girl?
Hazel decided that they were non-binary when they were about 4. They had been exploring gender before that, trying on different pronouns, experimenting with different names. But they picked they, them pronouns and chose the name Hazel when they were 4.
See, Ari, with the greatest of respect, I have a 7-year-old daughter, right? When she was 4 years old, her main decision of the day was whether to watch Peppa Pig or Frozen. She had not a clue what about gender identity or non-binary or any of this stuff. And I put it to you that this wasn't Hazel's idea, was it? This was your idea. You decided that Hazel had gender issues that she needed to address, and you persuaded your daughter that she was no longer to be a girl, didn't you?
I mean, I personally don't agree with that assertion, but I can see how that could be misconstrued.
Non-binary at 4. Who really decided?
Hi, my name is Brad Taylor, and I just finished my freshman year at RHS. I've been a part of District 196 schools now for 10 years, and I'm going to give you a glimpse today of what's actually going on inside these schools. Despite the board's attempt to deny it, District 196 schools are quickly becoming a place where promoting activism is actually more important than promoting education. I'll take you back to my first day at RHS this fall. The principal came out and gave us a heartfelt speech about equality and standing together. He began to list countless races, such as Latino, Asian, expressing how much they matter and how important they are. But never once did he mention a race or identity that reflects me, or half the kids that were in the class. Now, members of the board, I know you haven't been to school in a while, and I know none of you, or most of you, don't have any kids left in the school district. But you must admit how uncomfortable it will be to be characterized just by your skin color on the first day of school, and be thought that you were wrong just because of your skin color. So I'll never forget the look one of my friends gave me from across the room as we were sitting there listening to this blatant bias being expressed in the so-called equity statement by the leader of our school. To be clear, I don't need you to tell me that I matter, but hearing the condolences given to other races and leaving just one race out, it inevitably you'll start to feel like you've done something wrong. And in our principal's attempt to unify us, he instead created unwarranted boundaries and barriers between his students, pitting us against each other based on characteristics that we can't control. In another separate instance, I was told that writing "All Lives Matter" on the whiteboard was political and could be seen as offensive. When I questioned the teacher after class, she told me that she didn't have an answer and she just had to erase it, and it was quickly erased. There are political signs all over RHS, about specific races that matter, specific sexual orientations that matter, and specific perspectives that matter. But when I questioned the RHS administration about how these signs were political, they told me that they were supporting human rights.
A student exposes how race-based activism is dividing, not uniting the school.
As an abortion, it's the forced birth of a dead fetus or embryo. An abortion is the forced birth of a dead baby.
An abortion is an actual medical procedure to remove tissue from your body so that you
What kind of tissue is being removed in an abortion?
Fetal tissue.
Of what? Of what? Of a what?
Of a fetus.
Of a fetus. And what is a fetus? What is
a fetus? A fetus could grow to be a live birth.
So is a fetus alive?
Not necessarily.
If the fetus is dead, why do you have to have an abortion?
Well, you have to have an abortion to remove the fetus from your body.
If the fetus is already dead, I have no problem with removing a dead baby.
As you saw with
if the baby's alive, what is the fetus alive when you're doing an abortion, an elective abortion?
So sometimes the fetus is not alive when you do an elective abortion.
So we would agree that would be a miscarriage, and we are
no,
if
absolutely
the baby
not.
has already passed away.
Absolutely not.
You know, the older I get, the more I realize that 99% of people who are screaming loud pro-abortion advocates just have no idea what an abortion actually is. They have no idea. And maybe it's hard to blame them for that because the media runs absolutely rampant with insane misinformation every day. But I couldn't have said that better myself. An elective abortion is the intentional killing of an alive human being who happens to be in the womb, not yet born, but who is by every definition scientifically alive, which is entirely different from care for a miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy where tragically that child has already passed away. But it also is the only forced birth involved at all in the conversation about abortion. Believe it or not, a child growing in your womb still has to come out of your body even if you get an abortion. That's either happening through the natural, beautiful, intense, womanly process of childbirth and labor, or it's happening through forced expulsion of your child through medication like misoprostol or the surgical dismemberment of your child. So which one should we be calling forced birth again?
A tense debate reveals how language distorts the reality of abortion.
This issue has unfortunately it does put some, not all of course, but some Muslim families on the same side of an issue as white supremacists and outright bigots. And, however, the folks who I've talked here today, I would not put in the same category as those folks, although, it's again complicated because they're falling on the same side of this particular issue.
Hi, my name is Saad Beg. I'm a middle school student of MCPS. I'm here to talk about the opt-out option for reading material. I'm not here to take away the right of anyone being recognized in the community. I'm here to talk about my rights. My religion teaches to respect all religions and all human beings and their rights. So does my country law. And I want my right back to have an opt-out option. In the last Board of Education meeting, someone said that many people of the LGBTQ community are being bullied. That may have been the case some time ago, but these days it's quite the opposite. There are over 40 kids that I know who don't want to learn this and really want to be here talking today, but can't because they are being bullied. They are the ones being bullied when they say we don't want to learn this.
Although the introduction of texts and discussions related to transgenderism and LGBTQ+ lifestyle may support MCPS's mission to be all-inclusive regardless of race, gender, and identity, I don't believe my first grade and third grade cousins are prepared to read and discuss about such issues.
Students challenge required content in schools, demanding the right to opt out.
Instead of saying he is a transgender,
I would say he is transgender.
Instead of saying he transgendered last year,
I would say he transitioned last year.
Instead of saying he changed genders,
he transitioned or he affirmed his gender.
Instead of saying he was born a girl,
I would say he was assigned female at birth.
And you were assigned male at birth and you identify as
male.
And I was assigned male at birth and I identify as
non-binary.
Instead of saying before he became a boy,
I would say before he transitioned.
Instead of saying when he was a girl,
I would say when he presented as a woman.
Instead of saying being trans means you're gay,
I would say gender identity and sexual orientation are not the same.
Also,
mind your own business.
A dad's crash course on gender talk. Because who needs nuance, right?
My baby is gay. Yeah, this is him. He's gay. I called up my dad and I said, hey, guess what? Your grandson, gay. Gay, gay, gay. My dad says, you can't just say that your baby is gay before he gets a chance to tell us he's gay. And I go, whoa, 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 whoa. Straight people do it all the time. Little baby boy is born. Oh, he's gonna be a heartbreaker. Little baby girl is born. Oh, you better lock her up when she turns 16. Clearly, people want their children to be straight. Well, my son is gay.
A mom labels her baby gay because why wait for them to grow up?
I have a friend who has a trans kid. He's explained that, my child from a very young age consistently said, I am a girl, never changed their mind. And so the humane thing and the thing that he felt was good to do as a parent was to embrace that choice. I shouldn't even phrase it as a choice, like embrace that identity.
But it is a choice, right? You're choosing to add hormones to a child's body.
It's a choice blockers. it's a choice on the part of the parent.
Okay, but if that's who they are, if they think that they're a girl, why do you have to give them hormones to make them more of a girl?
Because I'm sorry, can you expand on the question?
It's a simple question. If the child thinks it's a girl, let it be a girl. Why are you adding hormones? You're choosing to inject things into this child's body on a regular basis that are going to radically affect the physical development of their body.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this isn't a choice. Well, it's definitely a choice to do that.
One simple question and the woke argument unravels. Reality hits hard.
The school district now is a freaking nightmare. I go to enroll my child and my kiddo is standing right there. I hand them the birth certificate and I say, see right here, this is his sex. He is a boy. He goes by he, him. I had no issues at his past school, and I don't expect to have any issues here. And I swear it was like Karen, the transphobic secretary, was just waiting on us that day. She said she wouldn't put my child in the school system as his name because it has to match a birth certificate. But again, had no issues at the last school. I told her I absolutely would not enroll my child as a female. And she said, you will and you are. She enrolled my child as a female, then sent mail to my house with my child's dead name on it. At this point, my child is supposed to start school on Monday and is enrolled in the system as a female. Every single teacher in the school knew about my child, and the students were told a little girl was coming to class.
This is a visual representation of my mood. Like and follow for part 3.
Yeah, that's scary. That's actually just scary. I mean, if you check on that child in 18 years, that child is going to be so messed up. And the fact that this is on the internet and nothing's going to be done about it is the worst part of it. Like, people are basically saying, I'm abusing my child. I'm going to make a TikTok about abusing my child, and nothing's going to happen to me because we've mainstreamed child abuse.
A child's identity turned into a show by the one meant to protect them. So that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and entertainment.